From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief creator of Amazing Ideas at Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's podcast, I talk to Shiv Gupta. We talk about generating leads for your business. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here, and today I'm here with another digital marketer, Shiv Gupta. How are you today, Shiv?
I'm great, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it was a pleasure. So today I thought I'd dive into, and if you could tell the listeners a little bit about your background, how you got into digital marketing, and how that sort of came about.
Yeah, sure. So I started my career at the age of 17. I was into computer. I'm from the computer science background,
Mm-hmm.
and like I started by doing some research-based projects, like my own projects. And later on, I got little bit popular because of those projects. And one of my initial clients, like his name was also Rob. His name was Rob Nugaria, encouraged me to open up my own agency. So at that point of time, I opened up my digital marketing agency, and here we are with Incrementers.
Yeah, and how long you been running your own agency now, Shiv?
Yeah, I have been running this agency from it's almost a decade. From the past 10 years, I'm into this, and I like started almost 12, 13 years back.
Yeah, it's funny when you mention it because I originally come from a computer programming background, which in essence is computer science. So, my background is pretty similar actually, and I actually think it makes you a better marketer to understand how logic works and how the machine works and how things like that work. Wouldn't you agree?
That's right. That's right. In fact, I started my career as a coder, but when I was doing my own research-based projects, I found that myself more inclined towards the marketing.
Yeah.
And since I was from computer science background and trying to understand the things was easy, I was always interested in the psychology of the users. So yes, this is the exact same thing which happened with me. And yeah, I agree. It's easy if you have that sort of background.
Oh, I would agree. And what does your agency specialize in primarily in terms of digital marketing?
In terms of digital marketing, though we are an omni-channel agency, so we are not channel specific. We do the research for our clients and try to understand what is best suitable for them, what are their competitors are doing, where are their potential buyers spending most of their time. But
Hmm.
if you would ask one specialization, then I would say search engine optimization is something where we highly specialize, because that is something from where I started my career and we kept on expanding the team. Right now, we are offering search engine optimization services, PPC services, email automation, right? Facebook ads, Google ads, social media marketing. So all types of online marketing we are dealing with, because now single channel is it's difficult to generate leads with a single channel. You need to be good at couple of different channels.
Yeah, which brings me into my next segue and the subject we wanted to talk about today, which is lead generation. And what I kind of start and say, I think it's harder to do lead generation today than it ever was 3 or 4 years ago. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Actually, every year the buyer's persona, their psychology is changing. So that's why we need to keep on updating ourselves. And if we are doing so, it's easy to generate leads. But yes, if we are following the same old set of patterns or strategies, then it has become difficult. Now it is more about demand generation rather than lead
Yeah.
generation. And if you are doing that correctly, then the sales cycle would be shorter. You will get better quality clients, right? Like you will be able to hit or target the exact audience, your ideal client. So that's how it's overall working currently. So yes, it has somewhere gone difficult as well. Plus, if you are doing it correctly, it's very easy for you.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's made lead generation really hard, and I'll be quite frank about it, is a lot of people like to do their lead generation on Facebook, and we all know, as I call it, the Facebook monster is becoming harder and harder to figure out what their algorithm is. How do I retarget? It's becoming harder with the new iOS upgrades that have gone in. That
That's right.
if you're
Yeah.
using Safari or Apple Mail, it doesn't capture pixels or cookies the same way. Do you have any thoughts on that mess?
Yeah, definitely. With the Apple update, a lot of marketers right now are in sort of trauma, you can call it. Like they're
Yep.
confused what to do, how to get things done, and like these updates will keep on coming up, right? So ultimately we'll have to change our strategy in such a way so that even if these sort of issues comes up, you always have a different channel. And in fact, this is the reason why I encourage a lot of my clients to have an email list, because all the social media sites like Facebook, LinkedIn, right, Pinterest, YouTube, they can change their algorithm at any point of time. Someone else can buy their entire company, right? Anything can happen. But if you have an email list, that is an evergreen thing. Guess what? For anything to do online, you need an email to sign
Yep.
up somewhere, to create a form, to communicate with something. So every year I hear that email marketing is that, email marketing is that, but that is never going to happen, because email is the core of the internet. You cannot do anything on the web if you don't have email ID, right? So email ID is always going to work. And that's why with this Facebook and all other things, I encourage my clients to have an email list, and always make sure that they clear out the junk emails, right? They should spend decent amount of time in clearing their email database, and send targeted emails after doing proper segmentation. So that's what I encourage to a lot of my clients.
I would agree with you. Listeners of this and people who follow me on Twitter and other social media sites will know I'm a big proponent of A, having an email list, B, having a website, because the reality of it is the only two things that you actually own on the internet is your email list and your website. Everything else is just kind of borrowed or rented space that you actually don't own. And the problem with that is any of these providers can change at the whim what they allow and what they don't allow, and that becomes a problem for a marketer. Correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. That's what I was trying to explain.
Yep. And what would you think about blogging in today's world as a lead generation style? Do you think it works? Do you think it doesn't work? What are your thoughts on that?
So blogging definitely works. It's a very crucial part for any type of like whenever you are doing any type of marketing, because
Yep.
with blogging you can educate your customers, you can target the right set of people, right, and you can showcase yourself as a market expert, right, market leader. So there are
Hmm.
couple of things which you do via regular blogging, but yes, consistency is very important. And like in fact I have been talking with about this example as well. For instance, uh, right now we are in the COVID era, and agencies like Webcam or Zoom, they can do the blogging related to how to increase the productivity online, or how to do conferencing while sitting at your home or anywhere in the world. And they can publish content on these type of topics, and represent themselves as a solution inside the content. So this way, people would be interested in reading that, since they are not highly advertising their product, right? It is doing it is helping them with some sort of a natural selling, and it will increase the demand, and it will increase the sales of their product as well. So yes, blogging plays a very vital role even now.
I would agree. And by extension of blogging, for about 2 years now for my agency, I haven't done traditional blogging, believe it or not. I made a shift. No, I haven't written for myself. I have not written one long form blog post in 3 years as of the beginning of December.
Oh,
What I have done though is I've been doing consistent podcasting since that period. So I made a decision long time ago that blogging wasn't the avenue for me. I had written, to give you an idea, I'd written
all
8,000
right.
blog posts in about 10 years for myself, let alone what I've written for clients, which is a whole new ballgame. And I made a decision that podcasting was the medium. And I think podcasting is kind of an extension of blogging. So, I think what you said, which was really key, was consistency. And I always stress that to people. If you do a mailing list, you need to put it out on the same day every week. If you do a podcast, you need to put it out on the same day every week. You need to be consistent. And I think where a lot of people drop down is they do marketing efforts haphazardly and they don't necessarily are consistent, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
And then
So
the other thing that people do, believe it or not, is they say, "Oh, I'm really busy today. I'm making lots of money. It's Christmas time." So what they do is they stop all their marketing efforts and they don't ramp up their marketing efforts till they're not busy. And what they don't understand, especially doing lead generation, is it's a long term strategy. It's not a let me throw a $5,000 product out at you and say, I've got you. It doesn't work that way, right? So people need to get with the program and kind of realize they got to market consistently all year round.
yeah, that's right. That's right. So yes, like whether you do blogging or whether you podcasting, it is important to stay consistent and to stick on the interest area of your targeted audience. That's what the like most important thing which matters. Even if you don't do either of them, even if you are creating just the videos, or if you are creating just sending the newsletters, right? It's up to you, whatever you are doing, whatever is suitable based upon your industry, but ultimately you need to make sure that you are coming in front of your audience again and again. So you need to make sure that they never forget about you. So that's what I feel is very important.
No, I would agree. There's a marketing philosophy that says it takes somewhere between
So
10 and 15 touches. Some
touch
people
points,
say
yes.
7, but 10 to 15 for people to actually see your product. And that's not even getting you to buy. That's just to recognize it. And what people need to understand is that's the reason why when you turn on a sporting event, you see an ad from Coca-Cola 15 times in the middle of a 3 hour event. They're just trying to get you to the point where you recognize their brand, and then you go from there, right? So
That's right.
it's just really
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, that's absolutely correct. Right.
Yeah,
It takes around 7 to 10 touch points for any potential buyer to make a decision. So you need to
yeah.
make sure that you keep coming in front of them. It can be via different mediums, and this is the only reason why a lot of agencies are trying to come in front of their targeted audience in different formats, whether it is sending them email broadcast, or maybe it is through their blog, or maybe podcasting, or maybe, like for instance, right now I'm coming as a guest in your podcast, right? So be going as a guest, or maybe hosting a podcast. So it can be anything, but you need to make, or maybe retargeting ads, but you need to make sure that you keep on coming in front of them again and again, so that they start recognizing you, and that will eventually help you in generating a sale.
That is true. So for a small business, so say, let's take, for example, a small retail store that's not part of a national chain. What would be the best way for them to start doing lead generation?
Can you just repeat your question?
Sure.
Your voice is breaking up.
For a small business that is um, say a small retail store that's not part of a national chain, what would
Mhm.
be the best way for them to start lead generation in the digital world?
All right, awesome question, awesome question. So for a small business, the most important thing which I would like to bring here in through the medium of your lovely podcast is that they need to have the correct mindset. They need to understand that they are a small business, right? And they should not try to beat the big guys, because
Yeah.
if they will try to do so, they will just be exhausting their entire money, and they won't be able to receive the results, and ultimately they'll have to shut down everything. They'll have to stop that campaign, because maximum they can wait for 2 months, 3 months, or a period of 6 7 months, right? And if they won't see any results, they'll have to shut down everything. On the other hand, big brands can spend for entire year, right, to make sure that they are warming up their audience and to generate the sales at a later stage. That is the most important thing which I feel. Second
Yeah.
is, which I tell to a lot of my clients, is that it is better to be a bigger fish in a small pond rather than to be a very small fish in a big pond. So small businesses have an advantage. They can be a little bit more personalized. They can be very highly like specific, but which and this thing is difficult for bigger businesses. So small businesses should focus on some specific set of areas or their expertise, which they should then go and do the market and try to generate leads for that. So instead of competing with their competitors on all the areas, they should specialize in some specific areas and then market that, create USP against that. And once those things are ready, once that marketing material is ready, then they can go ahead and start doing branding for that, start doing marketing around those areas, and that's when they can very easily generate the leads.
No, that's so true. And I'm a big believer that you actually, as a small business, you have to distinguish yourself from other businesses. And, we say, there's no point in fighting everything on price because that becomes a race to the bottom. And that is not a good idea. And frankly, at the end of the day, we actually term um, finding what's different, your inside advantage in the business. So what makes you different than your competitors? And I think too many times small businesses just try and emulate or copy the big businesses. Well, if they don't
Yes.
provide any different service, why should I use them? And I always kind of steer people towards a really good book called The Inside Advantage by Robert Bloom. It was written in 2009, but it's still relevant. And he talks about how to make your business different and why that matters. And I think that's really the key. Wouldn't you agree?
That's right. That's right. In fact, another good book on this is Good to Great by Jim
Yeah.
Collins.
Yeah, I've read that book several times.
Yeah.
It's almost a must read. So once we establish that, what techniques besides an email list do you suggest for a small business?
So, for small businesses in email list, I would suggest that they should not like try to heavily expertise, like they should not try to heavily advertise themselves. Instead, they should keep on providing value to their email users so that they don't unsubscribe them and they stay interested. That is the first thing. Second is, it is very important to do segmentation, because
Yeah.
if you'll keep on sending irrelevant emails, or if you'll keep on sending emails which are not relevant to the person, right, they might like turn themselves down or switch off their brain for your emails, or maybe spam you or unsubscribe you. So you should try to avoid those. Once you have done those things and you have clearly listed your specifications, your area or area of expertise or your USPs, then create your email newsletter, draft your emails based upon that. Then very in a very natural way talk about those things while providing value. So it should be 90% value and 10% about your how you helped the client. Even when you're sending those emails, it should be like how you helped the client, a case study of that from where they can read and learn, instead of just saying that okay, we helped a client increase in sales from $20 to maybe $150. Instead of that, they should talk about the journey, how that happened, so that their readers could understand and learn. And ultimately, if they need to buy, they are eventually going to come to you, because they see you as a legit company and they trust you and they know that you have expertise in the exact area. And while doing this, you will be targeting them at their specific interest area where they are interested, and the place where they actually want to learn and understand and grow. So if you do the email marketing this way, then there would be very high conversion ratio, plus you will be adding value to a lot of people. Even if a person doesn't convert, you are at least helping them, you are making a difference. So that's what I recommend.
Yeah, I think too many people, when they do lead generation, they think that means sales, 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 hard sales.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
really think, honestly, that people in today's marketplace, they don't buy information anymore. What they end up buying or working with is the people they like. Because we all know the biggest encyclopedia in the world is located at Google. So you
Mhm.
can find the answers to any topic for anything at any time without calling somebody. But I really truly think lead generation is more today, more than ever, a long term strategy. And it's actually building a relationship. And I think the relationship is more important than the potential sale. What do you think?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more to this. It is definitely very important and to do it in this way. So there are a couple of small activities which they can do, like even the small businesses, right? They can start by making sure that their website is looking good. They can start by doing on-site optimization, making sure that the call to actions and the website looks good. After that, they can try to market their website either through search engine optimization or maybe social media. And since a business is on small budget, instead of running the ads completely, they can run remarketing and retargeting on Facebook and Google, because the cost is very less, and it gives them another touch point with their users. So overall, combining all these things would help them heavily in generating overall more sales and a better branding for themselves. And yes, you are completely right on the spot when you say that people these days are thinking lead generation as only sales. And I won't even blame the people. I think this is because of our traditional system, like how we measure the performance. And even these days, what I see in a lot of companies we work with, marketers, they only work on creating the brochure, or they work on creating the supportive material for their sales team, and they call it a marketing. And the reason is the performance is measured only in terms of lead generated, or only in terms of the revenue generated, right? Like on the other hand, the correct way of measuring performance can be measuring the sales cycle, right? How much time it took to generate the sales, or in those other aspects. So this is the reason, like because the measurement and the performance tracking is done in a traditional way, that's why a lot of marketers, they or a lot of people who are into the lead generation, they only focus on that, and this is a big problem. Because when people, like when anyone is focusing only on generating the leads, as soon as they get an email or name or phone number, they will just pass that over to their sales team and their work is done. On the other hand, if someone is actually trying to create an impact and generate some value, then what they would do is they'll make sure that the, like if they exchanged PDF in return of that lead, then they'll make sure that the PDF is awesome. If they're providing a course, then they'll make sure that the course is awesome. So when you are doing it in a right way, then the magic happens. Then they'll actually see the more number of things happening, less time spent on the sales cycle, all those sort of things. But yes, we need to include that in somewhere into the measurement matrices as well, so that people get encouraged and do the lead generation the right way, not the wrong way, and just getting the leads and handling that over to the sales team.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest problems is in companies where there's a sales team and a marketing team. Sales and marketing do not always work together cohesively. And that's a big issue because the purpose of marketing is to generate sales, and if the um, two teams are not in sync, then that's a problem in most businesses. And it seems to be an ongoing issue in our business where they're not very in sync, and that's a problem.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big problem, and now lots of companies have started understanding this thing. In fact, in couple of agencies we work with, we encourage the marketing people to sit with the sales team to listen to their sales recording and understand what are the points they are trying to sell on. In some of the cases, we have seen that marketing was done in a different way. They were pushing different points, and the sales rep didn't even talk about that valuable thing which for which that lead or that potential buyer was interested in. They kept on talking about some other features of their product, right? And whether on the other hand side, you were talking about the benefits in the marketing. So yes, marketing and sales should be in the sync. They should try to understand each other's problem and help each other. Like if a company is going in this direction and doing things in this way, then it makes it very easy for marketing to happen and for the sales to happen, because they are talking about the same things, they are talking about the same USPs, they are talking about the same features or benefits which their product offers, right? So that's a big difference.
No, I would agree. So, and then the other problem becomes, we talk about lead generation as a strategy, and the reality of it all is many companies, they actually don't have a budget to do lead generation. And I think if you're in business, lead generation has to be part of your marketing strategy, and you have to have a budget. And I don't know why, but with small businesses, they say, oh, I'll just do it. Well, there's still a budget based on time, based on effort, based on paying somebody. There's always a budget. And I think they need to figure out that they need the budget for lead generation.
Exactly. Like even like I explain this to some of the people who come across me and tell me that they don't have budget for leads. I tell them it is just like driving a car continuously without having any time to fill up for the petrol, right? Or the diesel or the fuel, whatever you call it. So it's always important to wait to do the right thing. And in a lot of agencies, what I have seen is they start the lead generation only when they don't have any leads at all, and during that time you are very aggressively pushing for the things, and you are very needy. So during that time you just agree for whatever deal the other person asks you to do on. The best time for lead generation is when you have tons and tons of leads and you don't have any time to produce more, because at that point of time you can very easily keep on doing the things. So with this, what I mean is lead generation is a process which should run the entire year, not just during the Christmas or holiday season, or not just during any specific time. It should run the entire year, and once you have that, then you will be able to figure out in a correct way how many leads you can get the next month, right? It becomes very predictable. But if
That
you are not doing so, it's a problem for you. So I always encourage these people to keep on working on getting leads. Now, you talked about that some of these people don't have any budget. I completely understand that they probably have started out, or they are not making huge profit, so that they could spend heavy amount of money. But that's absolutely fine. There are a lot of beautiful ways through which you can talk about your products and services. You can go out there without spending any penny. For instance, right now we are sitting here and doing a podcast, right? I didn't pay you, or you didn't pay me anything at all, right? But we are still talking about things. So this is one way of doing marketing. Other than this is you can just find out the problems which your targeted audiences are facing, and just write down solutions for it and publish a blog. You don't even need to hire fancy content writers, or put beautiful images out there. You just need to talk, you just need to share about your, like, share your experience over there, right? So there are very small, you can create videos. It's free of course to upload videos on YouTube, right? You just need to make sure that the content which you are producing would actually help someone, would actually make a difference, right? And if you consistently keep on doing that, you can definitely make a difference. Now, a lot of people, what they do is they try things for a couple of months or maybe a couple of weeks, and then they stop. So, to all of them who are listening to this podcast, I just want to tell you that please continue doing the things, and magic will happen to your life. Magic will happen to your business. You'll just have to continuously doing that, so that you keep on improving there, you keep on growing there, and you'll understand more methods. So, like, I'm not even saying do all these things, do video, podcast, blogging, this and that, or maybe social media sharing. I'm just saying maybe start with one, continuously just keep like doing that. After that, move to another one if possible. Otherwise, keep on improving on the first one. And once this thing happens, eventually you will see that leads would start generating, and you will start getting consistent amount of leads. But ultimately, you need to be consistent there. You need to consistently go out there, talk about your business, and make sure that people, more and more people, are getting to know about your business.
that is so true, and I mean, I know you said it again, and we've kind of beaten this one hard today. Is consistency matters more than anything else in
Mhm.
whatever you do, and people need to realize that it's, and it's not a case of how much you do; it's how consistent you do, and
Yes.
that's really the big issue. Thanks for joining me today. If somebody wants to get a hold of you to talk lead generation or any digital marketing, how's the best way?
So, if someone wants to connect to me, they can reach out to me through my website. It's incrementors.com, incrementors.com. Or on YouTube, they can just type my name, Shiv Gupta Incrementors, or maybe Shiv Gupta Marketing. From there, they can reach out to me.
Thanks so much, Shiv. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks a lot, Rob. It was nice conversation. I really enjoyed the entire 30 minutes we had. And yeah, I wish you the same thing. Have a great week ahead.
A very special thank you to Shiv Gupta for joining me on this week's edition of the SDM Show. Thank you for listening to this edition of the SDM Show. The SDM Show is brought to you by Rob Cairns and Stunning Digital Marketing. For more information about Rob Cairns and Stunning Digital Marketing, go to stunningdigitalmarketing.info. From here, you can connect to us on social media, go to our website, and even go to the podcast to subscribe. This podcast is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much. Keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars.
make your business succeed.